News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Police and medics respond to 3 crashes on the highway, and local auto dealerships find new ways to sell cars. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Highway 160 traffic is blocked for several crashes. It's Tuesday, April 14th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, a 2-vehicle collision quickly involved a 3rd vehicle following the T-bone collision on the highway this afternoon.
Nevada Highway Patrol, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, auxiliary units, and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a 3-vehicle crash at the intersection of Highway 160 and Mesquite Avenue. 3 people involved in the crash declined to be transported by ambulance to local medical facilities. NHP told News 25 that the brown pickup truck traveling west on Mesquite Avenue failed to yield the right-of-way to a white work truck traveling southbound on 160. Both of those trucks collided and then crashed into a gear wrench commercial van stopped at the sign on Mesquite Avenue, waiting to enter onto southbound Highway 160.
And a pickup truck and a bicyclist were involved in a crash today in front of Wells Fargo on Highway 160.
Southbound traffic on Highway 160 was diverted this afternoon for a vehicle versus pedestrian crash south of Wilson Road. The male bike rider was transported by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of the crash involving the bike rider and a pickup truck. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the scene to assist with the investigation and traffic control.
And police and medics began their very busy day with a rear-end collision this morning on 160 and Betty Avenue.
All occupants declined medical attention at the scene of a 2-vehicle crash on Highway 160 at Betty Avenue. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of that accident, which appears to be a rear-end collision. Traffic was diverted around the site by Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units. Medics with Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue evaluated the individuals involved in the accident.
And a 73-year-old man from Pahrump was killed in a single-vehicle rollover crash in the southwest Las Vegas Valley Monday night. According to Metropolitan Police Department, on April 13th at approximately 7:55 at night, a single-vehicle rollover collision occurred on Buffalo Drive. Evidence at the scene, witness statements, and video surveillance indicated a 2010 Toyota Prius was traveling south on Buffalo Drive at a high rate of speed. For unknown reasons, the Prius left the roadway to the west and rolled multiple times. The driver of the Prius was unrestrained at the time of the rollover and was ejected from the vehicle. Responding medical personnel determined the Prius driver, identified as Jerry Michael Burley, to be deceased at the time of their arrival. News 25 will return right after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing.
Well, welcome back. President Trump is ready to get the economy up and running again. OPEC has agreed to a record reduction in oil production, and Ford is switching gears, producing respirators at a plant in Michigan. We get more now from Angela Miles.
Topping our news, President Trump is anxious to get the economy going again. Last month, the president extended federal stay-at-home orders through April. However, now he's ready to get Americans back in action. Not all governors agree, including New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo, who will be coordinating an effort with 6 states along with health officials to decide on when to open economies. OPEC and Russia plan to reduce pumping oil by an unprecedented 10 million barrels. Oil prices crashed at the start of the year due to a glut of oil on the market from those nations. On Monday, oil prices remained stable. Ford is building an air purifying respirator along with 3M at a plant in Flat Rock, Michigan. Ford is also making face masks. Ford warns revenue from the first quarter will be down by more than $600 million.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, with showrooms closed, local auto dealerships are using technology and social distancing in an attempt to prop up sagging auto sales. That includes Senator Trudeau, Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
You know, the governor came out and said that all the showrooms need to be closed, but at the same time, he deemed car dealerships an essential business. And the reason for that, you know, there's a lot of nurses, doctors, emergency responders. There's a lot of people still working, the people at the grocery stores and places like that. They have to be able to get back and forth to work. We have 3 different ways that people can buy a car right now. You can go online, you can search the inventory, you can find the vehicle you want, and we can complete that entire transaction online, over the phone. And then what we do is we prep the car for delivery. We have the salesperson drive out there. They sign the contracts with the customer, you know, using mask, gloves, and social distancing. So they're passing everything back, staying 6 feet away from each other, and they complete the transaction that way. There's still a lot of people who actually want to see a car before they buy it. So those people come down to the lot. They can't go on the showroom floor. The showroom's locked. And they'll browse the inventory, and they'll look at the cars, and they pick one out. And then we have 2 different areas set up where they can buy the car. One is, as you see over here in front of the dealership, we have some tables, and they're 6-foot tables turned lengthwise, so it keeps the people 6 feet from the salesperson and the finance manager. The manufacturers come out very aggressively with special deals. There's 0% financing for 84 months. So basically you get the financing on a car for 7 years without paying a penny in interest. That drives the payment way down. It's one of the most aggressive, probably the most aggressive move I've seen in over 30 years in the car business.
And Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza is providing many of the same services to buyers interested in purchasing a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC vehicle. And GM is also offering some very attractive finance options right now.
We can do most things online or over the phone, which makes it very easy. We're offering home delivery, for example, and then we've set up areas, you know, outside of the showroom for paperwork, you know, at designated hours. One of the most popular incentives right now is no payments for 120 days, no interest for 84 months. One example is, you know, a couple of days ago we had a healthcare worker whose spouse lost their job, and the healthcare worker still makes, you know, pretty decent income, but you know, they took advantage of 120 days for no payments while, you know, she's out of work. We're still able to get them into a new vehicle and lower their monthly payments, actually. We've got tons of crossovers, you know, full line from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. PahrumpCars.com houses Nevada's largest inventory network of Chevys, Buicks, GMCs, and usually around 300 pre-owned vehicles. We're following all CDC guidelines, 6 foot, you know, 6 foot social distancing, wrapping, you know, customers' steering wheel and seats and flooring before we receive the vehicle. That's after sanitizing certain things.
Well, both Senator Trudeau and Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza remain open for service. You can schedule an appointment or learn more about buying your car online by visiting their websites. Well, last Friday on April 10th, Zoltan Bathory, the founding guitarist of the global multi-platinum rock band Five Finger Death Punch, visited state troopers with Nevada Highway Patrol in Las Vegas just 2 weeks after the fellow state trooper Sergeant Ben Jenkins was tragically murdered while assisting a stranded motorist in Ely, Nevada. Being a resident of Las Vegas, Bathory is a major supporter of local law enforcement, as well as law enforcement throughout the country. He frequently visits police departments to talk with officers and discuss various topics affecting the law enforcement community. Bathory's band, Five Finger Death Punch, have also supported various organizations benefiting first responder-related causes over the years. Bathory himself is a major supporter of Nevada's Injured Police Officers Fund, a fund set up to assist officers injured on the job or family members left behind by fallen heroes. He is supporting with yearly donations and most recently has donated funds to the grieving family of the fallen NHP Sergeant Ben Jenkins. In January of 2019, Bathory also made a donation in support of another Nevada state trooper whose house was severely damaged by a fire, displacing the trooper, his wife, and 3 young children. When we return, we'll be back with more from Cleveland Clinic.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
Well, we know that COVID-19 can be dangerous for the elderly, but that doesn't mean young people aren't at risk, according to Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Humberto Choi.
I think there is this misconception out there that related to COVID-19 that only grandma will get sick from COVID-19, and because you are young, you won't get it. I think the numbers from the CDC are showing that this is not true. Almost 40% of the cases are cases of people who are very young.
Experts are looking into whether vaping could be contributing to why the U.S. is seeing a higher number of younger people hospitalized from COVID-19 in comparison to other countries. Dr. Choi says anyone who puts a strain on their lungs and airways by vaping or smoking increases their risk for complications should they get COVID-19.
This is a real disease. You know, there are cases that we are seeing in the hospital, and some cases of people who are getting very sick and need life support. It's true that not everyone will die from the disease, which is great, but the disease can be severe enough to affect someone's life forever.
Dr. Choi says the most important thing people can do right now is to take precautions seriously and be careful to follow information from reputable sources like the CDC or your local and state health department.
Right now it's important more than ever to try to get very good and reliable information. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, and sometimes people can act on them, and they can be putting themselves in danger depending on how and where they're getting their information from.
Dr. Choi says even people without major underlying health issues are getting sick from COVID-19. He says the bottom line is no one is completely safe from the illness, so we all need to follow the most recent health recommendations.
Well, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, together with the Department of Labor and Treasury, issued guidance to ensure Americans with private health insurance have coverage of the 2019 novel coronavirus diagnostic testing and certain other related services, including antibody testing at no cost. In March, representatives of major health insurance companies met with President Trump, where they voluntarily committed to covering COVID-19 testing without cost sharing, such as copays and coinsurance. Building on this commitment, the new guidance implements the recently enacted Families First Coronavirus Response Act and the Coronavirus Aid, Relief and Economic Security CARES Act, which require that private health insurers and employer group health plans cover COVID-19 testing and certain related items and services furnished during the COVID-19 pandemic with no out-of-pocket expenses. The announcement requires for group health plans and group individual health insurance to cover both diagnostic testing and certain related items and services provided during a medical visit with no cost sharing. This includes urgent care visits, emergency room visits, and in-person or telehealth visits to the doctor's office that result in an order for or administration of a COVID-19 test. Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci is guiding the nation's response to the coronavirus pandemic. So far, more than 15,000 Americans have died from COVID-19, the disease caused by the virus. But Fauci says researchers worldwide are working to develop a vaccine to prevent it.
Have you seen any data yet, Tony, that encourages you that vaccines will be sooner than you had predicted before? You've been much more reticent to say we're going to have a vaccine in 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months. And you've been through this more than virtually anyone in the United States. Any sense of timing of vaccine?
Okay, but let me explain. Yes, but let me explain the two factors that will determine that, Howard. Mm-hmm. You know, in any vaccine, the candidates that I've spoken about are the 2 or 3 others that are out there that will likely be as good or better. Who knows? Is that one of the things you got to be careful of when you're dealing with the coronavirus is the possibility of enhancement. So we need to, as we're going through the phase 1 trial, we're now going to the 3rd part of the phase 1 trial, the highest dose. There were 3 doses, 25, 100, 250. We're in the last one right now, is to do animal studies to show that, and we likely mice studies and then graduate to non-human primates, to show that when you have a an animal that's vaccinated and you challenge them, then you don't get the perverse effect of enhancement. You've got to do that. And then you go into phase 2. We have vaccine sites all over the world. If you can show early on that there's efficacy in a phase 2 trial, and it really looks encouraging, you can get the FDA to give you almost an emergency use authorization to start using it before the 18-month period that I said. You see? So 2 things. A, make sure it doesn't cause enhancement. And B, if there are enough cases while we're doing the phase 2, you can get good efficacy data from a phase 2 if it's properly powered.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, let's take a look outside and see what's happening out there. Clear skies, a little windy. We'll find out more with your forecast after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donohue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 71 degrees, a low of 49. Death Valley, a high of 80 degrees, a low of 56. 70, a low of 41 in Amargosa. 66, 39 in Beatty. 58 for the high in Goldfield. 56 for the high in Tonopah, both those towns with a low of 29 degrees. 62, a low of 37 in Carson City. 63, 33 in Fallon. And finally up in Fernley, 65, their low is 38 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was 68 degrees. Winds coming out of the north-northwest up to 12 miles per hour. 9% humidity, and our sunrise at 6:11 this morning. Now tonight, we're going to continue on with clear skies. Our low is going to be 43 degrees. It is 68 outside currently with winds out of the east-northeast up to 8 miles per hour. Our humidity at 27%, and our sunset expected at 7:17 tonight. Now looking into that 7-day, we're not seeing too many changes. We're going to be seeing some sunny skies on Wednesday. Clouds rolling in on Thursday. Those are expected to hang out until next Monday, with sunny skies again returning next Tuesday. Now on this weekend, we do have some high winds rolling in up to 12 miles per hour on Saturday and Sunday, 15 miles per hour on Monday, and down to 13 by next Tuesday. Temperature-wise, on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be seeing highs of 75 and 76 degrees. We're going to drop down to a high of 66 on Friday, 77 on Sunday, and then Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to be seeing highs of 73 and 74 degrees. Now, our overnights, Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be seeing lows of 51 and 53 degrees, dropping down to 48 on Friday. And then from Saturday to next Tuesday, we're going to be seeing those lows at about 52 to 54 degrees. So now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks so much, Michael. Well, we want to remind everybody that tomorrow night we're going to have a live show here on KPVM-TV. It's going to also simulcast on our radio station, Ace Country Radio, and on our Facebook page, it's going to be streamed. It's a 2-hour show from 6 to 8 p.m. It's called We Care. It's a COVID-19 roundtable. It's a live show, and the public is welcome to call in. And we will be having more tomorrow and on our Facebook page about how you can exactly do that. But it's going to be a Zoom kind of conference where we're all going to be talking about what's going on with the pandemic. We're going to have leaders here in our community, including Sheriff Sharon Worley, Fire Chief Scott Lewis, local representatives in our government, and Dr. Michael Reiner, Superintendent Dale Norton from the Nye County School District, and some mental health professionals, so much more. So we want everybody to get involved, sit down and listen to other people ask questions. You can even call in and ask some questions. So we are looking forward to that. That is going to be once again tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell from all of us here at KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.